Hi everyone, again, every Thursday we have a meeting together, functional and technical questions I will try to answer. You just shoot on YouTube, LinkedIn and Twitch and I see what I can do with it. We had the exercise like 2 weeks ago and last week we had a wonderful session with Emanuele for the tech side. We discovered a few things about OWL. We covered a few things also about performances. This time it's different, we go back to regular Q&A session, but that's usually the moment where you have most of the questions. I have a few in my bag, so if you don't have at the moment or if you are shy, I can start with the one that was asked last week because I know there was someone that was interested particularly about the beverage industry. As usual, I will start also showing a quick slide where you can see the link where we have the previous sessions. You know that link already maybe. That's the one that you can see here on the screen. That is odoo.com/r/tke, where you have all the previous sessions if you're interested, with lots of things that are covered. More and more we cut the chapters so that you can see where it is inside the 2 hours video, because sometimes we have lots of questions. Sometimes I deep dive into one, so it can be really different from one session to another. So that you know already. Next event will be also mostly regular session at the moment. I think it will be there next week, and the week after it will be the other Antoine that you know and that has been there several times for another series of questions. So until I think the next few weeks, it's going to be mostly regular sessions like we have right now. All right, so let's have a look at if you had already a few questions, and if you don't. There was one already. Is it the same as last week? Yeah, let's try. Okay, I can check. So yeah, so there's someone that's coming back from next week, and it's good because it was the one that I had. I wrote it down. It's not exactly the same wording as the one that you use, Beltech SA on YouTube, and I said it was a link within request. My bad. But I recorded it because I was like, okay, we need to have a look at that. So it's good. I will try to demo it, and I will be a bit longer than what exactly you need, Beltech SA, because I want also through your question to illustrate how you can find, any of you can find that kind of information. It won't be perfect, but you'll see, and you'll ask me a few more questions during the session. So your questions are related to the cases and deposits. Cases, yeah, and then fields to link cases and single to other industries. In retail, we sell food in cases and singles also. Oh yeah, I guess it can be reused that way. I think that what has been done for the beverage industry has some similarities with other places where you have, as you said, a case or something that you give to the customer and then you need to keep back. It could be deposit for bottles. Also more and more in things like festivals. You have reusable cups that have a cost as well, so that could be the same idea. So let's dive there. I will have a short introduction, as I said, about how to discover that, because I think that as it's new, lots of people don't know how to find the right information. I will try to have different levels to this answer. So again, first thing I need to do when I start this thing is to not the jobs, to move back to English. So you know that if you want to test industries, you have a few that are here, and every time that you, if you are interested about hair salon, for example, I'm clicking here but leaving this one open because you see we have lots of other industries that also exist. And then when you click here on that industry list, you are brought to a place where you can choose industry. In fact, what it does is that it's if you want, you can check. You see here, that's a link where you have a small parameter that is given, but otherwise that would be this one. So regular apps, you see, like when you go on odoo.com and then you type, well, you don't type, you click on try it free. When you go there, you have all the different applications, but otherwise, if you go with the other link, or if you simply type it, but usually you prefer the link, this then Odoo will select another series of apps, which is, it means that you want to focus on industry and have Odoo install the apps for you. So that's our answer. And what I did last week, while we were discussing with Emanuele, I was already creating a database and working a bit with it because I knew that we would have to cover this. So testing, that's where you can go. Then after that, how do you get to learn these different industries? Well, first of all, you can go on YouTube. I will start with the easiest solution. Go on YouTube. You have a playlist where I think that we have industry things somewhere. I know I had a look last time. Yeah, Odoo Industries there. There you have a few demos, but you see it's still in the making. We have only 8 videos in total for all the part of the industry that we propose, but we are going to add a few more. You see, it was 2 weeks ago, 8 months, 4 months, 3 months. So we still keep adding it, like with a rhythm of around at the moment 1 per week. So have a look. It will be maybe an introduction level to what you want. After that, if you need more or someone to help you understand how it works, when you select an application, you can always ask for meeting an advisor. They are going to guide you by the hand, make a small demo. If you want to go further, so this is more like demo level or basic understanding of what would be inside that module. Then next thing that you can do is go there and try to find. So this is my my module, my application, my database with the beverage industry. I know it because I named it that way, but also if I go, maybe if I go in the apps, I would see something about the beverage industry. Am I still connected? Yes. I don't know if we will be seeing that. I suppose it has, yeah, you see beverage distributor, so I see it is related to that one. So how to discover things that are specific? Maybe you know by now how Odoo is structured, but Odoo works with different set of applications. Okay, you have sales, for example, here, or invoicing, CRM. Those are technically what we call modules. When I remove that filter, I see more of these modules. That's because by default we show only the big ones that we consider apps. Globally speaking, it's an application about sales management, one about the restaurant POS, another one about the inventory. But technically speaking, when I remove that, I have access to all the smaller modules that usually are kind of options. The one I'm very often talking about, because I'm always using the same examples, is the sales margin. It's a module that brings, I think it's 200-300 lines. It brings the capacity of having margins on the sale order. So if you want to know what it contains, you can install and try to look for the information by yourself. Or what you can do is, because you know that it has a technical name, you can also have a look at what it does in terms of technical stuff inside Odoo. And when it comes to the beverage industry, once it is installed, you have the beverage distributor. We'll see where we can find that on GitHub after, so that you are guided and you will be able to maybe discover other things for other industries, or if your clients, because I know we have a lot of partners following the show, if your clients are asking you that and you're like, I don't know where to start, if there are no videos on Odoo side on YouTube, or if they are, but they are really introduction level, and you want to deep dive yourself, that's what we are going to do. So as I was saying, otherwise it is discovering by yourself, going there. You were mentioning, Beltech, you were mentioning deposits. So what you can do is have a look at the deposit product that we have, and you will see by comparison with a standard database that there are a few things that are a bit different. There you see we have a category called deposit, and for example here we have that thing that is new. I know that it is new simply because I remember the screens, and also I had a quick look at the code or what we bring, but also another thing that you can do is here when you go in debug mode, you see it starts with an X underscore something. The way we developed the industry modules is very, very close to what you can achieve with Studio. It is Studio on steroids, if you like. It's a few fields that we add, and then sometimes a bit of code. It depends. Here there's a bit in the module that we have on the Beverage one, but mostly it's a layer of Studio that we do for you, always the same, and that we import when we install the module, and with which we also install all the different dependencies inside Odoo. So when you have that with an X, it means that it's imported by the module that you have. This means also that if you want to discover all the specific fields that one industry brings, if you didn't use Studio yet, what you can do, again, in debug mode, little tip is go in the fields there and say, I would like to see all the customized fields. Because when you go here in the search mode, when you are on all the fields in the database, and you have many, you can say, I would like to see the custom fields. And there you see which are the different fields, and I will group them by model. And so I can see that on the products, we have new fields. We have empty deposit product, something to say if the product is a deposit itself. Maybe this one is related to the category. Let me check. No, it doesn't look like. Then you have a unit of sale, quantity by deposits. You have on the product category, that's a field I was showing before. Then you have something on the inventory rules and also the bill of material, because there's something where I think if I understood well in the code, there's a thing to split automatically when you need one bottle and you have a crate. Odoo is capable of taking the bottle in the crate and kill the crate to create 23 other bottles than the one that you are selling. So that is also allowing you to find quickly kind of places, so product, bill of materials, product categories, where you will see changes brought by this module. Same notion, maybe, I'm trying that live because I didn't test it before, maybe there's the same kind of behavior that can be witnessed on the views, because there it would be, I don't know if there would be named studio views. I don't think so, so that would be no, but maybe their external ID should contain beverage something. Yeah, no, it's just about excluding some things. So maybe the view lead is not that good that I'm proposing. So that is, I would say, intermediate level. So we had a look at videos, then how to dive into Odoo, having a look at the different things. Obviously, if we change product and product categories, it means that most of the changes are will be there. Let's open another one here and have a look at the products, because I jumped in the products here having deposits. Well, I jumped in the deposit product, but if I have a look at a product that has deposits, this is the one that's maybe where you are going to find the most complex case with a link to the beverage industry. You have a deposit product, so it means when I'm selling this, what is the deposit product that I'm going to have together with this? And here you see that it is linked to the crate with a deposit 4.5. It's also something that we like to track the inventory of this kind of item, let's call it that way. So you see my Mobius Blanche here, white beer, is going to contain 24 different products for which they have another deposit than the deposit of the crate. And you see you have the deposit notion here, but you also have it as a tax. That is because, in fact, what you're going to have is, you have two solutions to do that. Either you add an extra product and you sell Mobius and you have another line with a crate, or you say, in fact, I'm going to consider this as a tax, but as a tax for which I'm not going to report for my tax report. So that is maybe something that is strange, but if you have a look at the configuration, you'll see that here, sales taxes, you will see here we have 4.5 and 21%. That is the real tax here, and 4.5 is to take into account the deposit of 4.5. if I go on just the beer itself, do we have it? Or maybe the spa here? Oh, this one. So that's the beer that is sold inside. We have a deposit of 0.1. It contains 1 unit of itself, and then the deposit is 0.1, which is usually, in Belgium at least, the amount that we have for the deposit of such a bottle. It could be also that you have things. Let me check, because maybe, or it's maybe for the wine. Yeah, for this one, you don't have deposit, because you don't always have deposit. It really depends on the agreements that I don't know if it's the bottle manufacturers or the people that put the liquid in the bottle, but not all the bottles are linked to it. So you will have a mix of bottles of that are linked to a deposit and some others that are not. So and here Coca again, deposit 2.4 with every time the usually deposit product that you select here will be in line with the tax. At the tax level, I think it's important to show that. At the tax level, what you will have is this. You have a few deposit taxes that are here. They start with something. And then you have a few excises as well. And they work almost the same way. So if you go here, you see it's a fixed tax. And every time here there's no tax grid taken into account. So compared to a tax, I'm going to talk about Belgium here. I guess I'm with a Belgian company, but it would work the same way with lots of other localization. Here you have that for the deposit, we are going to have an extra line in the tax, not the tax report, in the tax zone on your sale order, on your invoice, and you are going to see the amounts, and it's going to make the amounts bigger, so people are going to have to pay you for this deposit. But if I have a look at the taxes here, for example, a real tax 21%, then you see we target an account for saying where the VAT should be stored before we pay, and then we say the type of tax is the base or is the tax, and where do we store that information. So that's why that in the reporting, in the accounting reporting, there you'll have in the tax report the different tax grids, but that the tax is related to my deposit wouldn't appear here. So that's how this would work. And you will see that this works the same way for the excise. It's not put in a tax grid in particular, or like the one on the Coca or the one here. I don't know if it's related to a code or if it's yeah. Here I see it's always the same amount. So it's something that is fixed. Same for the other ones here, where it's not a percentage. So that information, you can see it when you go on a sale order, and I'm pretty sure that you must have one that exists already. Yeah, this one, the first one. That's another thing. When we create when you want to test these things, I was showing that last time. When you go on odoo.com and you have a look at the industries, and you want to test it, maybe the best you can do, I'm going to select here environmental agency. When you click on continue, don't forget to click there if you want to test it. If you don't, of course, don't click it, because otherwise you are going to have some kind of fake documents or documents that you don't care of, because you don't care about, because they will be stored into your Odoo. Like here, if it were a real database, then I will have to start first by deleting all of that, and trust me, it's long. It's better to restart your database. But here, for demo purposes, if I have a look at this one, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Usually in the demo data that we propose, there's always a few things that help you understand how it works. That's the goal of the demo data that we propose. Here, that's why on the SO number 1, you have some beer, 7 quantities, and you see we have the deposit tax, and there it becomes really super readable, because you see the difference in terms of deposit and VAT in the bottom right corner, and that is also visible. I think one place where you can see that is that in the accounting, when you go in the configuration, you have tax groups, and that's you see that those are tax groups that we are going to use, so that it shows differently at the bottom of the document. And that would be the same, I think, on the PDF document, same as on the invoice later. So if I create the invoice, it's going to, I will be creating the invoice from that place, because apparently, did we already deliver? Yes, we delivered it already. So if I want to have a look at this, that's what it looks like. And you see the deposit amount that you have there. And let's go back here. Let's create the invoice. And then you see same information in terms of accounting. journal items, you see the tax grid for the sales, but not for the deposit. So deposit here is not linked to a tax because the product deposit itself, it's something that you give, you will retrieve. It's not subject to taxes, the deposit itself. So that's how it would work in terms of having products, configuring them, sending them. One thing I'm not sure of is here in terms of delivery, it's a return that you have, because I don't know if when I click on return, the product that I should be receiving back is not the Mobius, but it's usually it's the deposit that I'm going to have with it, so that the beers have been delivered, but the return would be deposit based. But maybe there's something for that. No, there's no server action for it here. That is also in terms of if you're interested about the reporting, because you want to know. I just want to check quickly if we have something about the excise, because you don't have it here in terms of a tax report, because I was telling you the taxes that we have. We select a tax, but there's no link with the tax grid, so it's not going to appear in the Belgian statement. But maybe in terms of journal items, we would be able to see the ones that are linked. I don't have any excise here. I will create an invoice that is linked to a product for which there's an excise. Let me check if I have one here. Do we have one on this one? Nope. I will have to look for one and eventually create another one. Yeah. So let's have a look at the products. Do we have... Maybe a quick way to check that would be to go here and to group per tax. Do we have something like this? Or sales tax? Is it? Yeah, sales tax. Yeah, we don't have an example of with excise apparently in what we offer here. So I'm going to use... Did we have something like this one? That one, I would be astonished if it were not related to some excise of some sort. So I'm going to sell a few. Let's go. And there, let's say a few more. So there we have an amount, and you see the excise that is selected. I will send it to my client, blah blah. Okay, I will confirm it. I will deliver, and then from there, if I create an invoice, what I want to show is always the same. It's the selection of the taxes, the fact that you have it here. You could even select if you want to put it in a different account. That is okay, but the excise is part of your sale. The only thing is that you need to remove it. Do we see then? What I'm curious about in terms of reporting is how can I find the right amount for this? Maybe it would be better to report it in a different account right here, so that you know how to report it every month and it's in a different account. So maybe that's where we could have an improvement. I'm not sure about that because I don't know exactly how excise report look like and how many times a month or a year you need to report for that to the authorities. But maybe it's something that you would need. Otherwise, you could also filter on the label because they all start with a label that you gave them. So already here I have enough, but it would be maybe better to report in a different way. And there in the journal entry that I have, you could look for it's not the product, maybe it would be the reference or the label. Yeah, there I would see the labels and the amount that I owe in terms of excise. So per month you would find the right information. But if you want to have it in a different account, that would be some configuration at the tax level there, where you would say the amount of the tax I would like to put in a different account, but again with no tax grid. So that would be possible. Mentioning this, that is a very, very quick demo and giving a few tips on how this works inside Odoo. Again, if you want to go further than this, we have consultants available that can help you set up that environment for you. And last thing that I wanted to cover, because I think that's also the idea of this talk, it is going further and try to next time understand by yourself how this works, or how to find a few crumbs so that you can find the right information. So in this time, I'm going to use GitHub for this. You see me sometimes going there during the sessions. There's a place that is called Industries, or something, yeah. And you see it's public, so you have access to this. So GitHub/Odoo/industry, that's where we store all the different industries we are working on. So if you want to follow, sorry, if you want to follow what we are doing at the moment, you can have a look at the different commits that we have, and you will see which are the ones that are moving a lot. Maybe a quick reminder, you see that every commit that starts with I18N, it's a translation thing, so it's not always super useful. And I see that the last thing that we did for all of them was translation related. But if I go and have a look at the Beverage, that's what I did yesterday, Beverage distributor, right here. You will see, first of all, the structure here. That is the place where I'm going to see the files that I need, the dependencies that will be loaded automatically. If it's, but I can maybe show that first. So those are all the applications that will be installed because I installed the Beverage industry. So that is important to know. You are going to benefit from all of these applications installed directly. And there it's everything that is loaded on top in terms of features and views, because I'm installing this module, so it's going to look at data information here mostly. You see it starts with data. I'm going to have a look at that because that is the most important part. And demo, that's the demo data that was installed and that I was making a demo of. The rest here, if you go in static description, that's the icon of and some description of the module, a bit of JavaScript, the tour, so it's the small purple thing that floats and that's telling you, hey, that's here you need to start. Binary files, so those are just images that we use here and there, so it's not that super important. Same images as well. The translation is here, so really you need to focus on demo and data. Demo, it's the demo data that we use. So when I go here and I want to have a look at, let's say the product templates, for example, I'm going to see, it's maybe more like product that I need to have a look at. In the demos, do we have something like this? Otherwise, in the sale order here, you will see we have a few sale orders for which let's go back here. That place contains the sale orders that we create by default here because we loaded the demo data. Then here in the data, that's where most of the information you need will be found. If you want to know the kind of extra features that we bring for this module in particular, you can focus on the IR actions or the base automation, which are the thing that you see me sometimes, automation rules. That's the place where you are going to see the extra code that we have, and you see here by default this list should be empty. So if I have 4 items when I create a database, it means that Odoo created it for you, and that was done through the Beverage industry thing. So there we have something auto production. So there is a bit of code to here mark the record. So manufacturing orders as done in some cases. Which are the cases? It's when you have auto production that is selected on the bill of material. Auto production is, I think, one of the new checkboxes that we have. On there, you have some BOM automation on the product, updating the taxes as well. So what does it do? This one, we execute some code, and we are going to check if, apparently, if we have some tax that are different than deposit. What do we do? Apparently we are going to add so if the tax group of my tax is different than deposit, and here if the same for the supplier tax, it's about changing the deposit product information with taxes once I have a record, so a product that has some information for the deposit product, by giving him extra taxes that I had here above. So okay, so those kind of things if you are interested, you can take a bit more time than just here to read it. We create delivery carriers, we create new views, new models, new... yes, that one I forgot, new knowledge article. So it's good that I have a look at this, because usually also what we do, in order to help you understand how a module like this one works, is going to the knowledge application. And there you see, every time, that's maybe where you need to start, by the way. We explain in a few words how you can use it. And so you have here how to manage your inventory, then you have how to manage the deposit, and there you have a few examples. So Beltec SA, that's also one place where you can see where we try to help, is explaining how this works in the database directly. So that's very important. Every time that you add a new industry module, you will find a bit of help there. So that is knowledge. Related as well, some POS categories and configuration. And the product I was talking about, yeah, the rest is product variant, attributes, template related prices as well. So that is, let's say, product information. So it's not like crazy in terms of extra thing. The only thing that we want to do with those applications is say, here's a preset. Here's a preset, here's demo data that you need, here's pre-configuration, so that you can get started right away. I'm not saying that this one can be used in prod directly. You need, of course, to configure the accounts, create the products and all, but at least if you need to make a demo, you have already a database that is available. And if you need to understand how it works, you also have a database where you can see what we had in mind when we said Odoo can be used for helping beverage distributors. So, and that's it. So it was, I told you it was a bit long, this one, because I wanted to show everything about how to discover it. Of course, so let's recap very quickly. Go on YouTube to see the playlist about the industries. Test it yourself by creating a new database from the Odoo's webpage. Get the help of a consultant or a sales advisor, because that is also a little place where you can click and you will get a demo. Use this show, and then we dive a bit deeper for the quick demo I made with the extra explanation on the taxes and how we do this on excise and the other taxes, the deposit. Otherwise, if you want to dive a bit deeper, then that's GitHub that is going to help you. And the last one was also having a look at the knowledge management here. All right, I think it's time that we move to another question. I see Bams on YouTube that is asking, I am currently developing hotel management in Odoo. How you can give the insight of the available room that has not been booked yet that day? It depends what you use. A funny thing is showing a moment where you are available. It is always turning the question in the other direction. It's every place where you need to have slots that are not being created yet. One thing that can help you in this regard is having a look at the kind of applications like planning or time off. Because the planning, if you have a look at hotel management system or an agenda, you have an agenda that is empty, and when you have items, it means that it is busy. So you could be using the planning or the appointments app to see that, but if you have an hotel management, let me use the demo. Maybe we have that as well. I'm going to, I feel like I'm going to reuse another database, because do we have some hotel thing here? No, we don't. That's a shame, but maybe we'll have. The thing I wanted to show for showing what is available, you will find, but I don't know what's the level of your question. Is it that you need help for development? Because you say, I am developing an hotel management app, so that's why I'm maybe more going in the direction of development, but you can have a look at what we do for appointments. So appointments, you see, yeah, you have something similar, because whether you book a tennis court or a room, time won't be the same because you book for days instead of hours, but the way it is done, I think you can have it here. Let's see if I can create a new one. You have availabilities of resources like tables, courtrooms. We can try with just rooms. So I guess that would be working for an hotel. You can say that you would like to manage the capacities of it, and you have the different resources that you have. You can say when it is available. We can try that, but when you have a look at this, how it looks like, it's an agenda where you have or you don't have items. So if I create a new one here, I'm doing it manually from the backend, but most of the time people wouldn't do that. You leave some place available online and people go on your website, which I'm emulating here. They go on the appointment. They would say, I would like to book for a tennis court. And you say, I would like to book it that day, that time. Okay, that court. And you confirm the appointment. And thanks to that, if I go back here, I see an appointment, but I think it's maybe later. So I need to, when is it? I don't remember for which day I booked it. Yeah, it's on the 19th, so it's not showing here. 16, 17, okay, 18, 19. There it is. Okay, so I needed to scroll a bit further to find it, but that is how you would see it, BAMS. You usually have things that are empty unless you have something directly existing, meaning it's not available for that day or that hour. Want to check quickly something in the appointment, because I'm mentioning this, but so far I didn't test if it was possible to have it I didn't try if you could have something like that would be 24 hours and see if that would be okay. Room, and we can eventually have whoops, something like here. We'll create just quickly 2 rooms. Capacity 1, yes. Okay. Room 2. See if that would work. And then the schedule, I'm not sure, because then it would be Monday. That's maybe where it's going to be a bit more difficult, because usually it's from Monday to Tuesday. So there I'm not sure that it would be a perfect, at least one slot duration is shorter than the meeting duration. So I would need to have something like from Monday to the day after. I wonder if Odoo is capable of managing this, by the way. Let's try. So I suppose that would be this, and from Tuesday, would we have something like this? Yeah, if I do that, it works, but I don't know if it's going to be accepted. I need to also publish it. Nope. Right there. So if I go back to my appointments, I have rooms. Okay. Yeah, I need to configure opening hours. So I'm not sure that for the hotel management the appointment could be working, but what you can do is use the way it has been developed and fix, I would say, the schedule, because I'm going to redo a quick check here, like if I do this, is it working? Checking quickly if that would work. I'm not sure. Yeah, it says no availability. Yeah, that I think is something that is not expected with the dates. Yeah, I guess it's not going to be related to the other things here. Yeah, so and that's the thing, maybe booking on 2 different days is going to be a bit more complicated, but reuse that notion for the what you want to develop, because honestly I'm pretty sure that what we have here, you have already a lot in terms of where to start. Then I think it is mostly managing a schedule so that it can be spanning on different days. Thinking about that, I know that there are lots also of existing hotel management apps that are done here on the apps platform. when you go there, you type hotel and you will see you see 73 applications. You have hotel reservation here, hotel management. You have a few that are free that you can test, and some of those for which you would need to request a demo to the developers. But that is a possibility. That's the kind of thing that you can take a look at BAMS. But if you want to stay closer to the standard, I would say have a look at the appointments and start it from there. Do we have something else than appointments? Because I think that rental is not, it's more like renting physical stuff. I was mentioning the planning could be a good one as well, because there you manage yourself different shifts. That would be possible also. But it's true that then for the planning you don't have a website portal place where you can select yourself. So that's why I think it's the appointment app would be a better one to get you started. Another question on YouTube from Affluence Digital is saying, hello, how to give the opportunity to a customer to order a product on the website and adding himself a serial number to identify the product. Using MRP module, I would like to follow the work done on the product while it is on our company. It is in our company, and to be sure we'll give back the good product to the good customer. A customer cannot really give a serial number that will directly impact the product. Although a quick thing that you can do to help is to enable a specific feature on the e-commerce that would allow him to give you extra information. Let's go back to the shop and see. Let's imagine that that conference share, he wants to give you some extra information about it. So that person adds it to the cart. You see here it's only things about proposing extra product. If I proceed to the checkout here, what you could do is add extra, development it is, add extra information on that screen, or maybe on the checkout, but I think that it's better to do it the previous one, because there you will have something that you do per line of your product. But then if you have 3 items here, you need to have 3 fields potentially, or a field with values separated by a comma, so it becomes a bit more complicated to do. But let's imagine you have 3 here. You want to go to the checkout, so the address is not really related to what we want to accomplish, but have a look. Here what you can do is usually, where is it? It's in the customization. You can say, I would like to have an extra step. And that extra step that you have here is going to say extra info here. So we added this one. So after I select the address, I confirm, I have extra info. And I could say here, I would like to edit. And I think it's a web form that I can change. Let's have a look at that. So if I click somewhere, I can say, not give us your feedback, but do we have, the label here could be give us the list of serial numbers that you want for your product. So that could work, and of course you need to give a bit of explanation, like separated by a comma. So that would be really the bare minimum that you can do. Use the extra info thing, or they upload a list of, they even create it as a PDF, and they say that product, because they have several products, that product is this serial number, that one is another one, so that's a possibility as well. So this is purely standard. If you want to go really and have something that is to the point, then that would be a bit different. It would be from this place, depending on the amount that you have here, create an intermediate object that would be the selection by the customer of this item goes with this serial number, but that would mean development because you are changing the data model doing this. So 2 answers, pure standard. If your client can accept it, I would say go for the extra info thing here. They use that field, or they use the selection here of a document. That would work. You can make it work, and then you can continue here to the payment. That would be sufficient in lots of aspects. Knowing that from there, eventually you can add extra. Let me complete that flow so that you see how it would look like after that. So let's put fake information here like this, and let's continue to checkout. And I will need to activate a few things here, so I'm not going to finish it. I'm interested in the extra info that I'm giving. Can we, am I still on demo? Yeah. Is this one? No, what's the amount? 113. Yeah, that's the one. Right here. So you see, you have the list over there. It's going to be sent as a message inside the chatter. So you get that information there, and you can eventually then forward that information later. So it's a bit strange, but already there, without a lot of development, if the client does it well, I could say, you know what, this is a message. Hear me well, because it's a bit complicated, and I know I'm trying to find ways to stay on the SaaS without doing too much development. But a thing that you can do when you are in debug mode is the following. So extract serial number info, and we are going to find that on what we call a mail message. So a message here, I'll try to do something that won't be that long. So when a message is created, you can say, okay, if, so that is done by the person that orders. So we need to make it so that when you have this, so would it be content contains this? Yeah. So you see, I have one record. So when the content contains this, and you know it will contain this because every time that there will be value there, the message will contain that information. Then do something, and from there you could extract the information, eventually copy paste it on a sale order line, blah blah blah, and you use here a bit of extra code so that it allows you to stay on the SaaS and use a quick scripting thing so that it impacts later what you have in Odoo. And it could be putting it somewhere, already creating the serial numbers. It could be you go there and it says, wait a minute, we are going to use something like this. Environment, so it's stock lot or production lot, something like this, and you create something, and you create them, and you say that their names would be this, and the product would be the product of the line of the message. So from the message you get the sale order, from the sale order you see the sale order lines, you see the products. But what if you have different products for which you need to give that lot? Then it becomes a bit more complicated, but you get the idea. There's a possibility to get there. Otherwise, a bit of manual work with a PDF that would work as well. So that was for Affluence Digital on YouTube. Then we have global charts on YouTube as well that is saying how to generate a price list of products with pictures. It depends on what you ask. So there are two ways to understand that question. First one is here. You go there and you print the price list report, but I don't know if that is what you want, the price list report, or if it is about the price list rule. But the problem with price list rules is that sometimes you don't have a rule, but you still have a price that is applied. This means that we try to manage price list in an easy way. So let's go here and if you have a look at the price list, you see that for the European Union, we say we apply to all products. So there's it allows us, let's go back here, that on a product, any product that is here will be we are going to apply the same rule to them. So let's take the sale price, you see here, sale price, and let's apply no specific rule. It's just a formula that says let's not change anything. So that means that this, which is the default price list, is going to select any product and say let's take the sale price and don't change it. So that's why if I create a new quote here, I select any one and I say booking fees. There we got 50. That's because it's the amount that is on the product. So all that to say that if I go on that product again and I say, let's have a look at the price list rules, there's none that is directly linked to it, but the one that is linked to its category or to all the products. So there's a way to compute a price. And if you say, I would like to print it and that you base it on the price list rules, you are not going to have any result. But if you do it from here and you say price list report, then you see there, and maybe that's the kind of view you would like to change so that you can add not only a product, but also its image and have different price per different quantities. In which case, you see here we have possibility to print PDF, CSV, Excel. Excel, I wonder if it will be able to export an image, so I'll be careful with that. What we need to do now is here try to see if there's a view we can change that would where you would add the image. I can have a look at that. It's a bit complicated because I see it's not a common view in Odoo, this one. So my guess is that it's maybe not something that is easy to change. So my way of thinking around that would be to go on GitHub and to try to find a lead around that name. We see, okay, in fact, it's a client action, and we open the price list report preview. And what does that tag does? Yeah, there's JavaScript involved, so maybe it's not going to be easy. And in terms of XML, product view, yeah, I don't see a place where that can be adapted super easily. It's not like if we had a view name, yeah. Not as if we add a view name somewhere that where then we have the whole definition of the view and we can change it. I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of it is changed through JavaScript. Yeah, is it here? So when we go there, yeah, we have a price list report here, and that is what we need to change. You have the price list name that is here, that is this one. Then we circle and we go through the product. Yeah, you have a selection of price lists, so there must be, yeah, that's a selection here. So maybe the price list name was just here and not this one that was highlighting. Then there must be a place where we go through all the, yeah, you have the quantity things. So that's the header. We can add products. So that is the one that we have here. And then we go through the list of products. And do we load a so that's if we have no products, but what if we do have, yeah, there must be a place where we compute the amount, so the unit of measure. So there's extra information that is given somewhere. Yeah, we put apparently here. We put the HTML here, and I guess that would be computed from the JavaScript. So changing that place would be a bit complicated. If that's what you wanted to achieve, that's a bit more complicated. Yeah, we are going to render all the things with the. Could that be this one where we are going to get the information? I'm discovering at the same time, and guys, don't be too demanding. Okay. All right. Okay, so we generate. Going fast, I'm not sure about everything here, but we generate the HTML. Okay, get HTML. We render product report price list page. Okay. And what is this one? It's something that we can change easily. It's a template in a product report. Okay. Okay, quantities, alright. And then we go through the products. Okay, maybe but there we select the name of the product. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that here, as we have a table, it's not like dot syntax. I'm pretty sure that we will need to improve that so that we also give not only the name but the image. So in what we send back somewhere here, that there must be an image to send, because here we get for every product we go and we select the name. Yeah, and then we select the quantity per price, the price per quantity, and some variant information. So you will need to modify this to get the image, but also to send the image before you modify it. So that's if you want it in a price list report, but that's what I understood from how to generate price lists of products with pictures. So I guess that you would do it from there. To generate it, you add a few products and then you print it. That's I suppose the place you would go to. Okay, another question on Twitch this time from Bertian van der Heyden. When we send a quotation by mail to our customer, there is a button in the mail, accept and sign. We notice that customers often do not use this button because they think the quotation is then accepted before they have even seen it. Is there a way to rename the button to open and view? Yes, there must be. Let's have a look at that. And let's maybe illustrate what you mean first. So when we send this, okay, let's continue that. I'm going to send it to one of my fake email addresses so that we can have a look at that together. I'm going to, can I change? Yeah, I will change this one. I will say, let's move it to Henry Keegan. And that guy, I'm going to put that email address. Right here, and let's send something, and we'll see what I receive on my end. At least if I can connect to my mailbox on my own screen on the other side. So trying to, yeah, up. I already have a few things received. Let's send that, and let's see, is that the kind of button that we receive? Because here, that's a discussion that we had several times. You have the content of the email, and then it gets encapsulated, embedded, if you like, in a notification thing. And that notification thing, it is a template that we have seen several times already in the views. You type notification, and that, yeah, in QWeb. If you type yes, QWeb, that's one of those ones. I think it's usually the first one. Yeah, and there you have buttons, and you have button names. You see title and the URL that it clicks, and I think that's one of the things that you need to change. We can have a look at that. I'm going to check if I'm receiving something like this in my mailbox. But thinking about that, I see this one. I think we don't have the mail server working on the demo environment, so I will try it from my place here. I will redo it. Maybe I already have my Henry guy existing. Yeah, good. Is it the right email address? Yes. Okay, let's put something else here. Let's go. Let's send it again. Blah blah blah. Okay, so this one this time seems to be at least on the side of Odoo. It's sent, yes, and there I see it is received on my side, right there. And what you're, let's say, complaining about is accept and sign quotation. And it's true. I understand your point, and it could be misleading. So this one, let's see if we can find something like this. I'm going to open another. Well, I'm going on the same database. Oops, here, and I'm going in debug mode. I'm going to redo the same thing. So going in the views and then notification. And we see here in QWeb, that is the one that we have. But if I look for quotation, there's nothing there. That's because, let's make that bigger, it will maybe be embedded in the title thing here. So you need to change that, and I think that for this you have no other choice than to go and develop a little bit. I'll check if there's something that is related to the translation that can be changed. So we said not accept and sign. Maybe I can even go and use sign quotation, because that ampersand here, sometimes it's escaped, so it's hard to look for that information. So I will try to find sign quotation or there, and we'll see if that works. Sign quotation. Will we find something there? Yes, you see here accept and sign quotation. So that's the one I have. And it's on the sale order model that we have this, and you can see that the small underscore means that it's a char. It's a string that can be translated, and that's why you have that message there after. So you could translate it through PO files. That would work, which is not doable on the SaaS, by the way. Very important. So you need to be on site to manage PO files. What you can do there, if you have access to some code, is change this term, and that would work, and you would have it here. So it means rewriting this place, or having a moment where you say, you don't need to rewrite all the lines. You could say, okay, if the title is exactly acceptance sign quotation, let's change it. And then you keep the other wording if it's view quotation or if it's something else. But yeah, that would be where I would start and what we could change. So otherwise, if you cannot afford doing that development because you don't want to go on Odoo SH, is there a way to change that? You could go and you could maybe do it here. Let me check that. Let's try something fun and very, very low cost. And let's see if the title, so let's go there. We have a title somewhere? Title, oh, sorry, I wanted to look for title. Do we have, there are a few other places. I think that's the one because it's the one with the A that we have here. Yeah, subtitles, that we don't care too much. What we want, I guess it's the access and the URL won't change. What we want to change is this. I'm going to do the following. Let's try if yeah, that's going to be a bit strange, and I don't know if it works, but let's try. If this equals this, then we do blah blah blah. Otherwise, then we do something different, and that something different would be, let's keep the regular name. Yeah, apparently I made a mistake. I don't know which one. So let's have a look here. Yeah, maybe it's a span I should use here instead of a T. I could do that. No, I think we can use TT if. I'm never quite sure about this one, but let's try this. No, line 30, column 88, there. Oh yes, I didn't close this one. And then, okay. It's still showing the same. Maybe it's. Yeah, so that's I needed to escape it. So that's maybe why this one is not going to work well. Then I can try to resend it again and see if on my side I would receive something. Oh yeah, cool. Blah blah blah. So that is working, or at least I made the test, but I don't know if, yeah. So obviously here I tested if it was really equal, so I guess that is working. So you could do that, but that's really low cost, and then you can see that there I'm checking all the different possibilities. It's not working with different translations, so sometimes I'm going in that direction to show you what is possible to do with a quick fix, but that is not working with different languages, because then I will need to have lots of if and else conditions. You can imagine that it's going to be very long, but if you say, yeah, but I'm only dealing with a client in the same language and it's always exactly only that word that I need to change, that's the kind of thing that you can do. Again, don't do it there, do it in an inherited view so that you don't change the base view of Odoo and your thing is not going to be erased on the next version. So that's something that you can potentially do. And again, I've been going in that direction simply because, oh yeah, it was here. This one, otherwise, it's computed in a Python file, and that this, unless you can change a PO file, that you can only do when you are on Odoo SH on your server. There's no other solution. Okay, we have. It's a fun question from Petar Getik Vitols on LinkedIn. I've been using Oracle for 4 years. How would be my adaptation to Odoo? I would say fantastic, but it's just more like a sales question. So of course I'm going to say it's going to be good. We have a few clients that already made the switch, and it's going well. The only thing is that of course you need to adapt. But it's not because it's Odoo, it's just because it's a switch. You move from one software to another. You've been using a software for several years, so you need to move from one to the other. And then it depends of the application that you are using, but we can help. We have a lot of people like you that move. We have a lot that move from Excel sheet or nothing or paper to Odoo, but we have also a lot that say, okay, the current ERP that we have doesn't satisfy us, and we would like to change, and what is the change that we can use, or what that we can bring. That it really depends on the implementation and what you need to use it for. If we really have that as a question, as a starting point, I would say, tell us what you use at the moment in terms of application, what works, what doesn't, and we are going to have a look, make demos, and make you see what is inside Odoo that you will like on top of Oracle. Maybe we have a few white papers explaining the differences, but nothing beats the not a demo, but the fact that you start using it. So you really need to get your hands on Odoo to see, okay, how do you feel when you use it? How fast is it? I would say that, but honestly, the adaptation would be fantastic. We have a lot of clients that already made the switch from Oracle or from SAP, from other big players. It happens a lot. So I would say give it a try, and we can help you making that try if you want. So we can keep in touch after the session. You can contact me on LinkedIn, and I will put you in touch with one of my colleagues to help you do that if you are interested. Another question from Sam Sofabi. For the categories of the e-commerce website, we already have internal references for the product we manufacture. However, when it comes to selling them online, how can we create categories that align with our internal product references? Okay. So that is a question I can answer by showing further different categories. So when you go in the configuration, you have categories here, and these categories, if you have a look, it's what it means is for us knowing how we remove them in terms of logistic, FIFO, FEFO, LIFO. Then you have how we manage the inventory valuation. So that is related to the accounting, same as and the cost, and here the accounting properties that we, so which are the accounts that we are going to use, and that's how we categorize it. It's more like this information that should be related to the product category. What is displayed to the customer? They don't care about that. They want to know if we are selling t-shirts, shoes, or pants. So that is what you will find under the e-commerce categories. And there you can create your own categories, Sam. So you say you have, and that's where maybe I'm missing some information, because you say you have internal references for the product you manufacture. But when you sell them, how can we create categories that are aligned with your internal product references? You can create e-commerce categories that are duplicate of your internal category, but I'm not sure that that is what you want. If that is what you want, what you can do is export the product category. Well, there are different ways. You can export the internal categories and re-import them as e-commerce categories, reusing the same names and same parent-child relationship, because you see, same as on the other side, you have a name and then you have a parent category, so you can have that structure. That would be working. Otherwise, you can make some development to every time that you create a new category on one side, it creates it on the other. But then when you do that, it means that you need to do it also when you update the information, when you delete it. So it's a lot of effort for things that don't get changed usually every day. So I would say, maybe rather do it through an import. And if you don't have that many, another thing that you can do is quickly, and that is really if you don't have too many, you can go there in a list and check, okay, I have deliveries, let's create deliveries. Oops, deliveries. Okay, then I have expenses, let's create expenses. And you see I'm using a lot the shortcut, so I'm not even moving my mouse. So we have food, let's create a new one, food. Oops, that's it. We have goods and services, then let's create goods and then services. And that is it. So depending on the amount, if it's less than 100, do it manually, it will be faster. You just switch, and here I even went the wrong way. I should have done that. All right, let's go. And you read the list, and that is okay. So that's a possibility as well. Honestly, if that is that's how I understood it, but I don't know if that is correct. That's something that you can do. Zhang Austin is asking us, I am working on extracting data from Excel and need a preview about all data in the sheet of the workbook. I know the spreadsheet, but I don't know how to display data to spreadsheet. I'm not sure what you want to accomplish, Zhang. So, because you say I'm working on extracting data from Excel. So, I don't know if you really mean that, or if you say I'm working on extracting data to Excel, in which case your struggle would be to go here, export, and find the right information that you need. But you say, I need a preview about all data in the sheet of the workbook. But that is then not Odoo related, it's more like Excel or depending on the spreadsheet software that you use, that would be where you would find this information and where you would require help. I know the spreadsheet, but I don't know how to display data to spreadsheet. It looks like a spreadsheet question and not an Odoo question because you mentioned Excel. So there maybe, Zhang, you can maybe rephrase that or tell me a bit more about what you try to do through that spreadsheet question. I don't know if we have another question. I see some communication between the person that was asking us about Oracle. Okay, but you apparently you asked ChatGPT for a few things to get answer. I guess about Odoo's way of working, or that must be that. All right. So what I can do? I see apparently. We don't have more. Zhang answered. I mean, extract data from Excel to Odoo. Okay. And you are working on that. Okay, so it's uploading or it's importing stuff inside Odoo. All right. First of all, maybe I should mention that first. If we go back here and we have access to this, you will see. I guess it's already there. You have that pre-recorded session, and we had, I don't know, maybe it's this one that was about the access right. Let me check. I'm going there. Yeah, I need to connect to be able to show this one. And I think this one, let me check from here. Another, I need to go on Firefox where I'm connected with LinkedIn so that I can show you that. Because I think that this one was related to importing stuff, but so it is here. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So that's it. First thing that I need to mention is that if you want to learn about import-export, we created this one. I think we'll put it on YouTube at some point, and that is the link. Let me remove this one. That is here. I should say access, not access right on import exporting data. So that is also important. Have a look at that. We cover a lot of things about importing. And I'm pretty sure that the questions you may have are discussed in that video, but in a nutshell, I can redo a few things here when we simply import new record and select a file. If I go in my Odoo documents, yeah, we had import session where I imported accounting entries, a few things, employees. Of course, here I'm on a product thing, so I don't know if I have something for importing the products. Let's try this one and let's see if I have different sheets. No, I need to check which one could be meaningful at the moment. Do I have? Yeah, I have product template in the import session. All right. Oh yeah, load data file. So it was documents import session there, and then yeah, then we have product templates, and then yeah, I don't have that categories. So if I'm testing this, you see Odoo is accepting my import, and if I click on import, it will create the product, and that product looks like this. So it's product template.xls. So that's how it looks like, but it's a very simple one. You can see that's how it looks like. There's a external ID, there's a name, there's a product type, there's an internal reference, barcode, sales price. So that information here, Odoo recognize the header. So what I will put in bold here, that information, because I named it correct. So that's why you have a name, a product type, an internal reference. Let's show back again this one, name, product type, internal reference. So Odoo will recognize this, but the way you name it will have an impact on Odoo recognizing or not. And also, everything that you have in your Excel sheet, you need to see if there's a place inside Odoo to receive it. And that is usually some quick analysis that we make with our clients, checking, okay, the information that you have in one software that you want to bring back to Odoo, let's see what you have and what you can accept purely standard, and what and for what we need to create new fields that are going to receive that information inside Odoo. So it's always a discussion that we have. Something we will drop along the way. Some other things we will create new fields for it. For some other things, sometimes we say, okay, but let's concatenate the information in a new field. So it can be really different. So I don't know, Zhang, if you have a file that you can share or an example, but globally speaking, importing things in Odoo works very well. When you know, it's always the same story. When you know how to do it, it's not too complicated. All right. I don't know if we have other questions. If we don't, I can move to other ones that we had in a list on our side. I see that Zhang replied. The table head is at any time in the Excel, and the code will try to find the head. Compared to Odoo external field, I'll try to get data from Excel. The user will upload an Excel file. From what I understand, you would like to automate some imports of the user so that Odoo understands the Excel file that you import, and you kind of drag and drop, and Odoo understands automatically. You don't go through this interface, but you drop your file and Odoo deals with it automatically. It looks like what you want to accomplish here. Let me check. And the code. Yes, the user always compare table head and the Odoo internal field. Yes, it's kind of what we do. So I created a header field that is named, so that's why we compare it here. Odoo will work both ways, trying to make sense of the label or trying to make sense of with the technical name. So that's why maybe another quick thing that I can explain is that here, when I use this this document, you have, for example, sales price is a good example. Of course, the other ones are internal reference as well. Internal reference is default code. That's the technical name. If I go inside Odoo, I will see it. So let's cancel this. Let's go back to products. And if I'm in debug mode, reference here, you see its field is default code. So when I had reference, Odoo was making sense of that, but default code is even better because then there's no discussion. It's exactly the name that it requires. So let's go back on importing. There you see internal reference is still okay, while now it's not the same name in the header. So if you want to on your side import this without human interaction, because I'm still not sure about if your question is trying to import the same file but without humans being there to say no, not that field, this field yes, this field no, because every day maybe you need to import orders from another place, then it's not exactly through that import window that you are going to use that to use your file. You may have to develop something where you say I'm dropping my file somewhere, and Odoo needs to make sense of that. But in that case, there's no human involved, there's no place for doubt. You need to name the column having exactly the name sorry, having exactly the name that are expected by Odoo. The same way as you would do if you were to use the API. And that may require some time. But let me check if you, yeah, that is it. Okay, I see we have another question from oh, even two. From Pavel on Twitch. No, is it Twitch? No, it's YouTube. From Pavel Volk. We have another one which is in Odoo 18 POS restaurant, multiple divided places on one same table, two different people at one table, two different payments. Okay, we can have a look at that. I can maybe reuse the demo environment if it's still live, the one that I used. Point of sale. Yes, it's still live. So I'm using this one because at least there we already have a preset that I don't have on my own database. So if I open the register, I don't know if what you want to do is to split a table or if you want to do is to split the payment of a table. Here, if I have a look at what we have here on a table, there I have my order for table number 4, and I could go to the payment and split the payment by having first maybe some cash for half of the amount, and then having maybe some card, and then you see it says per guest because you put somewhere that there were 5 guests for this, so you could say okay, cash, and then say I would like 2.1, so that you have first guest. You validate this one, then another one, then another one, and you have multiple payments. Otherwise, from this place, there's also a possibility to split the bill, but also if I'm not, yeah, you have 5 guests. I wonder if it's possible to transfer or merge. So you can transfer to another table, but it's true that it needs to be another existing table. We have the option to merge. We have the option to split the bill, but your case is maybe a big table where you have two orders at the same time. So let me check if it's something that we can do. New on 3. Apparently not. Transfer merge. Yeah, I can transfer, so now they're on table 8. Yeah. But if I go table 3, I'm putting a few things, and then I'm saying transfer. I can transfer to another table, like table 11. So it's not a 3 anymore, but I cannot have a second group at the same table. Yeah, that you don't have. So if your split is about the payment, that works. If your split is about taking a table and split it because you have 2 different orders at the same table, that you wouldn't have. I wonder if then could you create a new order that wouldn't be related to a table, or for which you would create floating tables that are not real tables, but that allow you to select another one when you have big tables like this one. That's maybe what I would recommend. A direct sale here, yeah, because when you set a table, you need to select a table number. Either you put the number or you select the plan, but otherwise you have something where you say this is what you took, but there's no table selected. You see it's direct sales and it's not like table related, and in which case here it's saying set table. That it doesn't look like we have. So if that's what you need to accomplish, yeah, you need to pre-divide the tables, or to have fake floating tables to which you can assign people when you have a big table that is shared in 2. That's how I understood your question, but don't hesitate to comment if it's not exactly that. There's another question from Sam Sofabi, this time on LinkedIn. That is regarding my previous question, is an example that might help clarify. When you manufacture a product, the internal reference of the production order is something like blah blah blah. Okay, and then serial number. However, we can't sell the product using the reference alone. For example, if it's a ring, we want the product name to appear on the e-commerce website for the customer, but we also want to keep and display internal reference. Okay, for traceability. So how can we structure our product categories and names in the website to reflect both internal reference and a customer-friendly name? So there, it's not a category, because what is what I don't get in your example is that you say you give a serial number, well, no, an internal reference for a production order. When you have a production order with an internal reference, it's something like it's more like a technical label that you attach to it. If on your website you would like to show that kind of things, you can, but I would then need to have an extra question asked to you, which is the following. If you go on the product and you select, let's say, the Apple earphone, you have a reference that is here, but that is the reference that is the same for any Apple in here headphone, because if I sell one today, one tomorrow, one in 6 months, it will be always the same reference. As you mentioned that is production related, I'm not sure that that reference is exactly what you mean, because a reference is not going to evolve, while production order, you have several batches, so it looks more like a lot number. It could be that it's a mix of both, and you say no, because all products are unique, and so every lot number is in fact a product. So for us, it's the same. You have businesses like this one where you have things that are done, and then once they are done, it is produced, they are sold, and then you never hear of that product again because it's a one-shot. In that case, yes, it would be possible to show it, and in fact, the reference that you have here would be taken from the production that you have in the manufacturing application of Odoo. And if you want to show that somewhere, and then that comes my second question. You mentioned a category, but it's not a category, it's a reference of a product. So you don't categorize per ecom 08. It is something that is not bigger than the product, it is not smaller, it is the product. It's another identifier. It's an internal identifier that you want. If it's a category, it means that you will have several products inside, and then it's categorization that you need. And that's where I'm struggling with your question, because when you go here, if you go in the shop, the categories will display here on top or on the left when you decide what you want to show. Here I'm going to select this one and say in terms of categories, I'm going to mark it in the goods. So I'm refreshing this one in the goods. Yeah, I have my Apple in-ear headphone. If it's what you want to accomplish is showing there also the code that would be ecom 0008, that's a possibility. We need to know by inspecting here. We need to find the right view. That is a bit more complex because in the e-commerce we have really a lot. So it is something where we have, we go in the product, it's a product grid, so maybe I'm going to find something related to product underscore grid something. So I can go in Odoo's views and try to find something like this. Yeah, I have. I don't know, maybe that's the one. Do we have the product name, image class, product image, blah blah. Yeah, and then we load this one, shop product image. And is it the one? I'm not sure. There are so many. No, it's not the one. There's. It could be though. Yeah, it's the grid products. Divided products grid. So what my struggle is to find the right place. There we have the price. Div class product price. Maybe that's going to help me to find it. We have product price as an ID, but not as a class. So let me check. QWeb. Okay, we still have a lot. Because my idea would be to show it directly there. We've also this search. Maybe I can have a look at the search feature to find it. Sort by blah blah. Okay. It must be the one. Okay, but it's not going to tell me which is the one that we call after. But maybe we call this one. Okay. So here I'm trying to, yeah, it was the previous view. So I'm trying to find the view that we have here, and I'm selecting the view that calls this widget. Okay, which is the search things? It was sort. Yeah, so obviously my product needs to be after. Products, yes. Products grid. Okay, that's why we select it. Do we have a place? Okay, we are going to call the product items view. It looks like it's the one. And there, color, get position, blah blah, price. Okay, and do we have the name somewhere? So we have a link to the product, so I guess that line is what happens when I click on the product. And then what is the span here? The options, do we have the name somewhere? I guess that we so that if we have a ribbon, and I guess that the name of the product should be this one. I'm not 100% sure. Let's try. Ah, no, apparently it's what I had is the image. Image holder, yes. So just all of that to show that this one, I'm trying to find the right place and what we want to change. All of that to show that there's a place where you can change information, and I'm trying to find it so that we can add eventually the name. But I'm struggling here because then we directly fall on the price. There it's the publish information. The product name is here. Okay. Product name, and then maybe we can add span field product default code. Do we have that available? Yeah, then you have it here. You see, I'm adding the code just after. So is it what you want to change and show the code somewhere like this? Because on the left hand side, to me, it would be wrong, because the code would be, if we're talking about the default code, it's attached to the product. So it's the same information, so it shouldn't be something that categorizes it, because it's not a category, it is the product itself. So if you say, yeah, but in fact, in the same production lot, I have different types of products, but no, it doesn't happen. It's always one same finished product. So yeah, that's where I must struggle. And this information, you see, if I click here, now I need to put it back there as well, because maybe you want to, again, show it correctly in that place. Then it's another view that you need to change, but this one is maybe what you need. So that is really my struggle, is the understanding of what you need and why you need it. If it's showing it like this, that is good. You see the trouble here is finding the right view. Maybe in order to help you there, view online are more complicated because we reuse lots of the same components. So I'm not always sure of the one that we are showing at the moment. But this one, how I found it was like, try to find the main view that loads everything. And then once I've captured this sort feature, I could find the view that was calling, just to be sure I'm editing the right view, which was this one. And then I had to look for the name thing here to show the span over there. Yeah, Sam, tell me again if that is going in the right direction. I'm pretty sure it's not exactly what you want, but am I understanding well the fact that you want to show also that reference there? Specific case, if it's about the serial number, then it would be way more than what I'm doing here, because the good thing with the default code is that it's attached to the product. So I say product.default code, I have it. If it's a serial number, then I would need to go through a list of serial numbers because one product can have several serial numbers. So I will need to create a new view that loads all the serial numbers in a table eventually to show that. So again, that's a bit different. Another question from Malay Kamar. Hello, love Odoo Insider. Thanks a lot. My question is for Spacesleep. How to show weekend number of days? Days which are not configured in the working schedule in Payslip workday line. So now we can see all attendance, public holiday and leave on Payslip workdays line, but we can see weekend days like Sunday, Saturdays, or any day which are not configured in working schedule because we are paying on weekend days to employees. Let's try. It's a bit complicated, this one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to see if I can reuse this because usually, again, Payslip things are better covered on demo environment because at least there's always a bit of information existing. So let me try to see if we have payroll. I'm going to use my Belgian payroll thing because that's one for which I know we have a bit of information inside. With payroll, we are going to see work entries. I don't know how you can define the weekends. Maybe you need to define weekend as work entries, or you need to also change the calendars. But is it because Malay, you have every weekend is a paid weekend, or do some people work on the weekend and so they need to have an extra pay for this? In that case, maybe the answer would be different. But somehow you need to find a rule that is going to take the weekends and add them to the pay. I think that 2-3 weeks ago we had something complicated like this one where we started working with the inputs. Yeah, let's skip that. Nope. Didn't I say skip? I thought that I did. That's going to be a bit longer. Okay, do I have my payroll now? Yeah. All right, because in the rules, yeah, in the structure I don't have that much here. Is any computed taking into account the amount of days worked? I thought I installed the Belgian one where we would have lots of other rules. Yes. No. Let me check that. Yeah, documents. Yeah. All right. Maybe it doesn't contain what I needed. Going to add an extra on top of that, or maybe I'm making a wrong filter. I wanted to quickly check the rules and the structure that we have working on the Belgian one, because then I know there's a place where we have predefined an input place, and you see the kind of code that you need to use for that. And that is never pleasant. That is it. So the database expired, so I need to do it again. I will try on my database so that we don't have the same issue. The only thing is that I won't have the demo data enabled, so that's going to be a bit longer maybe to create a case. Is there a way I can show that somewhere? Not really, so we have to wait for this to be loaded. So first of all, I'm going to see in the rules how we can compute the inputs, but that would mean that the inputs, we need to put them manually. And that I'm a bit afraid, because if you have a lot of people, maybe you don't want to compute the weekend days they've been working on a specific month, because then usually the person that knows it is not the HR, so you need to communicate it to the HR that is going to input it on payroll, because he or she is the one computing the information for the payroll. So that's a bit tricky. That's, by the way, Malay, it's a good question for in 2 weeks or next week. We have the other Antoine that is going here, and he's an expert in payroll. So that's a very good question to ask him after. Right. So here do we have... I'm going... I guess I'll have to check all the rules. That's going to be very long. Let me create a contract for for my employee. Oops. Okay, contract templates. I don't know if we need no end date. I will say that the date was a bit in the past. I will put a wage. Okay. Yeah, no, I need to put in running, I think. Payslip. So let's try to see if I can put my employee contract. All right, compute sheet. Did it compute anything? Yes, good. All right. So work days. Yeah, you would like to see it here, not in attendance because it says 21. So my idea was to put it there because then you can put. Do we have something about weekends? No. Or extra? No. You have a few things here that you can add. Yeah, but what you would like to see is things like the attendance, and I don't know how we had it there. I can look that now. So how do we add attendance related stuff? Do we have something like this in the rules? No. Is it going in the work countries? Yeah, that's maybe that. And then if I add some, but then that would mean, yeah, attendance, yeah, right. Are those validated as well? No, it's draft. So I'm going to check if here selecting this would change it. And if it changes work type, attendance, overpaid, remote, I would say overtime. Well, it would be the weekend, but so we see a different color coding. All right, so I'm going to recompute. But am I doing it? Yeah, for this month, and it didn't change. Over time, let's add another thing that would be leave work. Okay, overtime. Do we have weekend stuff? No, I can. Work type. Let's see work country types. There we have them. So it means that here we have work 100 and overtime. I guess that those code, we reuse them somewhere else. Let's see where we reuse that. And I suppose that would be again in the rules. So here, as I'm using my structure monthly pay, I'm going to check here monthly pay. If we have a place where we use that rule, like work, I'm maybe going in the wrong direction, but okay. Other input, that is not that. Python code, no. No, that is. But you see, there are many rules. Do we have something where it can be based on? No, it's other input. Okay, or Python code. I want to know where we get that. I think I'm maybe reusing another notion. That is checking where we have that work 100 result in the code, because here I'm doing the same but step by step, and it's taking too much time to get this. While I'm pretty sure that must be another place where we have that work 100, but as I'm not an expert, no. Rule categories, do we have something like this? Yeah, we have the code here again, but it's not the same kind of code. Work country types, other input type, those are the inputs but not the work entries. So I need to find the way we add work entries. Work entry type. Okay, you only have one. And that's maybe the struggle. So here, this one is going to compute only one work entry type. So that means that the one that we consider as work are these ones, I guess, attendance Yeah, that works 100. Do we have a way, unpaid structure type, working? Okay, we can see if it's unpaid in some structures. Do we have a place? No. I could have, because overtime hours, I guess it would be working time as well. Yes, but it's not showing because it's not linked there. So that I don't know if there's a way it will be impacting me, because my contract is this one. It is linked to that structure, which is the monthly pay, and the monthly pay is related to the type Belgian employee. But maybe I need to create another one. So another sheet only for the weekends. And that would maybe work. So let me check that. Can we create a new contract? Contract for weekends. But I don't know if it will allow me to have several contracts at the same time for the same person. So let's see if we can have that. And this time I will need to have a new structure. But if I use the same structure, it's going to be the same entry type. So maybe I will need to do something different and say this time is going to be employee, and or I would select overtime and see what it says. So the idea would be to have, it's not exactly what you asked, because you would like to have it, I guess, in the same sheet. So I have to contract under my name. If I go in my pay slips, I have one that is generated here. I can create another one also. But then the other one is not running, maybe. Yeah, it's new, so I couldn't select it. Yeah, only one contract, so that wouldn't work. So the solution I wanted wouldn't work, because I was trying to have my regular pay and then the overtime with two different contracts. It doesn't work, and on one contract you cannot make it work with the work entries, because apparently this wouldn't be overpaid. Solution would be to go back to attendance, but then it's regular pay, like any moment. So if I go back to my payslip here and I rerun it, so I click on compute, it shows 21 days, because I suppose this time it's not taking into account the fact that I'm linked to because I have work entries. I even have them here, state draft, a few hours, and the other ones, yeah, it's not taking this one, regenerate work entries. Okay, it's going to remove this one. Let's retry adding another one. Okay, generate payslip. Okay. Yeah, this time it's changing the amount, but issue is it's not changing the amount that are the amount paid will be the same, because it's considering this as just simple attendance. So for this, I would say try to find another way to have other inputs. That would be weekend work, because if it's not the same cost per day, that's not going to work, and you will need to create a new amount here, like a new input type. And that input type, there's a way, I think 2 weeks ago we did it, 2 weeks ago or a bit more, where we covered something where we used inputs to impact the salary computation there, because there is a thing in the configuration in my rules, I'm not sure if it was in the rules, where we had the other inputs. We saw a few when I was here. Let me check. That's one that was really long. I think that's the one. Yeah, if we have that code in the inputs, then add something. We added extra, I don't know what, but we added a new double line like those ones to say in my regular salary, I would like to take into account the inputs, and the inputs are what we have on a payslip right there. So that's why when you add here, let's say hiring bonus, like this one, the hiring bonus should be, yeah, it's here. So that's maybe how I would solve it, Malay. So again, contracts are linked to only one entry type, so I couldn't have, as far as I know, specific weekend pay for this. So attendance here would be always the same, which is not that bad because then you have 23 days of work. But out of those 23 days, you need to extract the one that you need to consider as weekend pay and see how you want to extra pay them. From what I can see, that is how it needs to be done in Odoo. Maybe another question to ask Antoine next week or the week after, because that's also his area of expertise, but I guess I'm not too far from what can be accomplished or not. So Malai continued saying, the issue is we added the wages for the whole month, but when we generate the pay slip, we have the 22 days, yes, and not the remaining pay days, 8 days which are weekends. So you need to do what I did to have all the days, and if it's different pay, you need to have an extra other input. No other choice as far as I can see. Did we receive other questions in the meantime? So Panel Volk asked a second question about the restaurant floor plan marking when printing a bun in the kitchen. I'm not sure about the question. Second question about POS restaurant printing floor plan markings when printing a bun in the kitchen. But what is it, printing a bun? I see what is a bun, like when you have a hamburger, you have two buns, but I don't know if it's something different. Pavel, can you maybe rephrase that? I'm trying to make sense of it. Printing floor plan markings. Is it that I'm trying to see if that's it. You would like to have on the ticket of people fetching the goods, the place where the table with the table that ordered it. My guess, from what you say, is the following thing. Let's go here. Let's restart the point of sale. It is I order things, and maybe I'm using the self-ordering stuff, and I'm table 4. And when I'm saying order, it is sent directly to the kitchen, and you have someone that needs to take it from the kitchen and deliver it to the right place, and you would like to have a map of the floor plan printed. That's what I understand. If that is it, which is, I can understand functionally why it would be useful, even though usually you ask people to remember a number of tables. But if that's your need, that would be, of course, development, because you need to print that also on the ticket, and this is generated through JavaScript, and I'm pretty sure it's not like exportable as such directly. But I don't know if that's your demand, but that's how I understood it. I don't know if you have any other question at the moment on any other platform. I see that on YouTube, that was the last question from Malai. Thanks, Malai, for your nice comments. And then on LinkedIn, okay, we don't have any new one. I can check quickly if there's one I can answer fast in the last episode that we had together. Yeah, that's one we did today. So let me push it back to the end of our things here. Did we have something? Yeah, that is doable. Maybe not in 10 minutes, but let's try to see. So that was another question from a long time ago, because I'm writing those down so that we can come back later. Is it possible to show at the bottom of the quotation, print the total amount before discount and total amount after? So we will need to recompute the amount without it. So let's see how we could do that. Because printing it is okay. Once computing it is the difficult part. So we'd like to see the total, and well, in fact, total with discount, we have it. It's the total by Odoo. It is already good. So you need to add the amount that is the discount on top of the total, and again also see if it was like that. You need to compute it with the taxes as well. So it's a bit more complicated, but what we can do is have a look at what we have on the line here in terms of information, and see if we have, by chance, anything that is related to discounts or amount of discount that we keep globally. That I don't know if we have. So we can go in the models and see if we have something that look like that in the sale order or sale order line. So model sale order. What do we have in that may be related to discounts? Amount before discount. Okay, that could be the one. Amount before discount. Let's try showing it. So we have the total and the amount before discount. So let's see if we have something like this. Trouble is that with this view over there, it's I think we fetch as subview. I'm going to try this and see if it can be changed that way. You know, changing the total here. If I open Studio, can we change that easily? Yeah, you see here tax totals. Yeah, we use a widget over there, and so I don't think we can use very easily what you ask. But on this, I don't think we can. Can we drag and drop it there? Okay, let's try. So we have the amount, we have the untaxed amount, but let's now play with the discount and see if there's a difference then. Yes, so there you have it. Amount before discount and the amount here. There should be a 15% difference. The thing here, let's go back there. Struggle would be this one, 79.79, but it's without taxes. So if that need of that person that is here, so Saud 18 was okay, I'm okay with having it. I'm doing B2B, so I'm okay having it tax excluded. That would work because I could simply show this amount and then this one and compare both. But otherwise, if it's not exactly what you need, then you will need to compute it with taxes, and that would be a bit long because taxes can be different from one line to another. So it's not as simple as multiplying it with the tax percentage that we see here. Potentially we can have several tax percentages and several lines with discounts, but that's how you could do it. If it is B2B, and that's the number that you like because you communicate prices excluded, tax excluded, I mean. But then if you need to show it on a report, that can be done pretty much the same way. Here it's a bit ugly because I went fast. Of course, I will need to fetch the currency number that we want and make that a bit smaller so that it looks better. And on the reporting, let's see if it can be done the same way. Reports. Over there, PDF quotes. And right here, yeah, that's not going to be that easy because I cannot go there and quickly, yeah, ask for this. So I will need to go in the code and change it, and that would be in the views report. It's sale order. It's sale order document. I'm never sure. Yeah, sale order document, that's the one. And there's a place where we have the totals, yeah, here. And so we call that document tax totals, which is another view. The sale one, this one, and there we inherit the document tax totals template, which is this one, I suppose. Let me check again. It was account, yeah. So it's this one that we reuse, and that's where we would need to add it. But then it's bothering because if we add it here, it's a bit more complicated than that. Because here it's a common template, and that notion of amount undiscounted, I guess, doesn't exist on the invoices. I can check that. Oops. Yeah, you don't have that, so I cannot change this by adding some amount undiscounted there. I will need to go here and say use an XPath to modify it and add an extra information, but that would be a bit longer. a bit too long for today, I think. But the lead is there. It is going on that view and saying that we would like to use some XPath to put in that view just before the untaxed amount here, just before this one, you would like to add the undiscounted amount. So you need to do that with an XPath. And finally, going back to the last question of Pavel Volk, on the bond, it's the order on your side. So so you would like to see the floor plan marking when printing that was it, when printing the order in the kitchen. If the number is the same for two different floor plans, it doesn't work. Okay, so that is the thing. What you say is that potentially you have twice the same, you have several floors and you have table numbers with the same floor. I would say if you need that, you can indeed develop, and so that you print something where you show on the ticket where the table is located. Otherwise, I would say rename the table numbers and have them prefixed with a floor number, so that it's a table 110 or table 210, and then that would show the floor number. That is also a trick, because I know it changes the habit, but that would be way faster than reprinting this on a ticket that would be small. So it's going to be already some hours or days of development just to bring that on a ticket. So that's why I would be more like try to find another solution that would be have people prefix the table numbers. That would be maybe a bit better. All right, we are done for today. We approach the end of the session, close to 2 hours as usual. We see each other next week for a set of other questions. In the meantime, I know there were a few other questions. People said they would contact me on LinkedIn. Please do. I will try to see when I can reply. Of course, between this week and next week, or otherwise next week during the show, I can see how I can re-answer or complete my answer based on what we discussed. It's also a good way to start the conversation. When I start the talk, I like to reuse things that we discussed the week before, so that it's an intro and it's continuing what we've done. Until then, hopefully everything goes well for you, and we see each other next week. Bye bye, guys.